Good morning, everyone. Excited, right, to have a beautiful day. We have a very, very special performance for you. We're super lucky to be able to be together outside and watching very talented, very informative, very gifted Mr. Chris Poulos, who's going to be sharing some of our life and displaying some amazing BMX stunts that will definitely leave you with your jaws open under your mask. You can still see. So with that, I'll turn it over to Chris Poulos. How about we give him a round of applause?
Thank you. All right, guys ready to have some fun today? Good, me too. I'm enjoying this weather. This is awesome. All right, well, my name is Chris Poulos. You can call me Chris. I am a professional bike rider. I've been asked to come here today so I can share with all of you some ways to lead better and safer lives. If you guys are good while I do that, you can see I have my bike with me. I'd like to also show you some of my favorite stunts. You guys want to see that? Yeah! Good. So, I'm going to be talking about some things. I'm going to be showing you some stunts. I will be doing some, things where you guys are doing some interactive things from where you are. So we've got a lot of things to do, so I want to get started right away. Let me tell you guys a little bit about myself as I'm, getting my bike and stuff here. When I was 6 years old, I started riding bicycles. My parents bought me my first bike. It was called a Hubbard Thunder Road, and I loved it. I used to ride it all around the house, all around the yard. I'd go in the basement with it. In the winter, I would take it into the garage and ride it. I loved it. One day, when it was about this time of year, I said to my parents, I went in the house, I said, Mom and Dad, I just learned how to do a stunt. I said, would you like to see it? They said, yes. So we went outside into the driveway. My brother and my 3 sisters came out too. So we're in the driveway. I had them stand, I don't know, maybe like where you guys are here. I went all the way to the back of the driveway, which was about the size of this basketball court. And I said to my family, I said, okay, this is going to be the hardest stunt you've ever seen in your life. I said, I'm the only one in the world that can do this stunt. And I said to my family, I said, you guys ready? And they said, yes. Are you guys ready? Yeah! Okay, so here I was, 6 years old on my Hubbard Thunder Road. I come riding down the driveway, and I went just like this. I went. And they laughed at me, okay? But I didn't care. I loved it. It felt so cool to me. I did it all day long. And I learned how to ride with no feet, and I had so much fun. I was standing on my bike. I was playing on my bike all day, every day. Whenever it was nice out, I wanted to go ride my bike. I loved it. That was a long time ago. That's when I was 6. How many of you are good at math? Who's good at math? Okay, I'm going to give you a math problem. You ready? The first number is 50. 50. Okay? I have been riding my bike since I was 6. I'm 50 years old. Who can tell me, raise your hand if you want to answer, who can tell me how many years I've been riding a bike? Let's see. I'll go with you in the Under Armour shirt. How many years? 44. I've been riding a bike for 44 years. Okay? That was my first stunt. Would you like to see one of my hardest stunts? Okay. So 44 years. Okay? Please don't go home and try my stunts. I don't want you to get hurt. Okay? So, please don't try this one especially. This is an example of 44 years of hard work. Okay? Let me know if you like this stunt a little bit better. Here we go. Ready? How's that? I don't even hear you guys. Thank you. So, my point is this. If you want to get good at something, it takes a lot of practice if it's something that's not easy, okay? I practiced a lot growing up. I used to spend a lot of time. I would go to school, just like you guys, do my homework, and the rest of the time I spent practicing on my bike. On weekends, I might ride my bike for like 6 to 8 hours a day, and it helped me get really good at it. Now, I have a question for you guys. I like to ask questions to get answers. How many of you have something that you think about, wow, I'd like to do this when I grow up? maybe you want to, have a specific job, or maybe you want to be an athlete, or an artist, or a musician, or you have a hobby you'd like to do. Okay, whatever it is, okay, you practice and you get really good at it. How many of you have ever, I guess I'm going to burst people's bubbles for a second. How many of you have ever had someone tell you, you can be the best at anything? Did you ever hear that? All right, we'll put your hands down, because I want to change that a little bit for you, okay? You can be the best at something. There's something everybody has the potential to be the best at. But we can't just pick and choose and say, I'm going to be the best at this. That might not be the right thing for you, okay? But the good news is, whatever it is, you can get really, really good at it if you practice and you put hard work in, okay? There is something you'll be the best at if you find it, but you always can get better, okay? I like to ride my bike, but I've done other things in my life too. And everything I do, I try my hardest and I do my best, okay? Now, I'd like to show you another stunt. I'd like to show you a stunt, probably one of the ones I had to put the most practice in to get good at it. Okay, now I want to explain the stunt to you as I do it. This stunt right here, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I am going to ride my bike. I am going to turn myself this way. I'm going to roll backwards, and I'm going to stand up on the frame with my legs on the handlebars, and I'm going to take my hands off. You guys want to see that? Yeah! Okay. I call this stunt a wind surfer, because if I get a little bit of a breeze, it can kind of push me faster, okay? So let me know if you like this. This stunt took me a lot of practice, and this is my wind surfer. Ready? Here we go. How's that? Thanks. That was one of my favorites. It took me a long time to learn that. And it's scary too, especially going with the wind blowing. All right, let me mention something else here that I'd like to say. How many of you have ever tried to do something that you thought was going to be easy, and when you tried it, you couldn't do it? Okay, me too. Happens to all of us. All right, how about this? Now, let's say you tried to do something and you couldn't do it. How many of you have ever had someone laugh at you because you couldn't do it? Okay, or, make fun of you in some way. Here's something else. Put your hands down. How many of you have ever had something you couldn't do, and then you had somebody that just had to tell you how great they are at it, okay? And make you feel bad because you're not that good at it? I don't like that either, okay? If I see someone that makes a mistake or can't do something, I'm not going to make fun of them or laugh at them. I like to help people. Let's say, for example, if I was on a basketball team, okay? And let's say I had five other people or 10 people on my team. Let's say we were practicing shooting free throws. And let's say if there was someone on the team that could not hit the basket to save their life. They missed every single time really badly. I'm not going to make fun of them. I'm not going to laugh at them. I'm going to try and help them get better. I always say, if you're that good at something, then you need to tell people how great you are at it. You don't need to say anything. They already know how good you are at it. Everybody knows. So if you're so good at it, take what you know and help someone else get better. So if I was with someone that couldn't hit a basket, I might give them some advice, like, maybe how to shoot a different way, or, maybe I'd have them get a little closer so you learn it. Whatever it is, I would help them, okay? And the reason is this. Number one, I like to make people feel good. But number two, if it's a teammate of mine and they get better, it's going to make the whole team better, okay? If you are at a school here, or family, whatever, and you help everybody around you to get better, and everyone treats each other better, it's going to be good for you and everyone. It makes the place great, okay? So I'm always trying to make things better around me. Now, I have a stunt that I have taught a lot of people. Because when they saw it, they're like, that looks really neat. How do you do that? And I explained it to people. And the thing with competing on a bike is you always want to have your own original stunts. So all the stunts that I do, I make up myself. Well, 99% of them. Okay? So someone asked me if they could do, if they could do the stunt. I said, yeah, that would be cool. It was kind of flattering. So I showed them. And I will show you the stunt. Okay? This stunt is called a boomerang. It's not easy to do, but it's, if you practice it, It's not impossible. What I'm going to do is I am going to jump around my bike. I'm going to leave this side of the bike, jump around, and I'm going to land on the other side. You guys want to see it? Yeah. Okay. Get me psyched up. You guys ready? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here is my boomerang, jumping around the bike. Very fast. Don't blink or you'll miss it. Here it is. Ready? How's that? You guys like that? Now, one of the things about that stunt is once I taught people how to do it, everybody started to do it in competition. Now, in a competition, you want to have your own original stunts, like I said, because you're getting judged on originality by the judges. Now, if everyone does the same stunt, it's hard to get more points because they see everyone do it. So I had to come up with something new that the other people weren't doing. So I said to myself one day, it would be really cool if I took that boomerang and instead of jumping around the bike one time, if I was to jump around 3 times. Would you like to see that? Okay. So here's the same exact stunt. I just go around 3 times, but it makes it, I don't know, 10 times more difficult. Ready? Watch this. How's that? Yeah. Okay, let me do this. All right. Some of the stunts that I learned, I make up a lot of stunts by watching things. Like I might see things in nature. I might see another sport and it gives me an idea for something. All right. How many of you guys hear the rooster over there? Guys hear that? I hear it. Didn't hear it no more. I get an idea for a stunt from watching a chicken scratch for worms. Right, so when I hear that rooster, it makes me think of this stunt. I'd like you to understand this stunt because it took me a long time to learn. Okay, so here's what we'll do. All right, everybody, stay where you are. Don't move from your place, but stand up. Stay right in your spot. All right, keep your space. All right, here's what we're gonna do. Pretend that you're on a bike. You can see I'm standing over my bike. So you got your handlebars. All right, everybody get their handlebars. So here's what's gonna happen. All right, I'll show you. Let's say I'm riding my bike, okay? Now, you've got the handlebars. You always have to have the handlebars or you fall. So I've got the handlebars. I'm on my pedal, so I take my feet, put one foot behind the other, all right? Because what I'm doing now is I have this foot here and this foot here. So it's one foot in front of the other. So I've got my handlebars, I got my feet like this. What I gotta do is I have to, I'm on the front wheel, I have to spin backwards, but still hold on to the handlebars. Okay, so my back leg is like that, this leg's like this. Now, I have my foot's here. What I do is once it gets there, now I keep spinning. I really don't stop. I spin around again. But I spin with my foot like this. And I take one hand off the handlebars because this slips in like this. Now I've got my handlebar on one side, the seat on the other side. All right? And I got one foot in the air, still on one foot. Now the foot's here. So now I have to move the bike. I move the bike by walking like a chicken. Okay? Like I'm scratching for worms. So now I'm doing this. But I'm going in circles. Okay? So I'm moving like this, going in a circle. And then to get out of it, I lift that leg up. I throw the bike. I catch the handlebars. So now I got the handlebars again. Now I'm walking forwards. So now my foot is going this way. And I'm spinning around. And when I get out of it, I step back over on the pedals and I ride away. You can sit down. Okay? Now you guys are just playing around with that without a bike. It's a million times harder to make those movements on a bike. And I'll show you. So this is my funky chicken. You guys want to see it? Alright, so this is what you guys just tried to perfect standing. And I learned a lot of stunts by standing and doing it. Watch this. Here's my funky chicken. Ready? Whoa. Hold on. Let me try again. There's no wires that hold me up. You guys got to get me really psyched up if I can do it. You ready? Let me try it again. Let me try it over here. All right. Funky chicken. Ready? Oh, man. One more time. Get me psyched up. Come on. Your energy helps me do stuff. I got it, right? There it is. How's that? It is hard. How's that? Nice. awesome chicken, and that took a lot of practice, as you can see. It's still not easy. All the stunts can still be very difficult, depending on, where you are, what kind of day you're having, everything plays into it. All right, now, let me mention this. How many of you guys, and I like to ask questions about people's lives and stuff, how many of you have a hobby that you really enjoy doing? All right, let's see, let me ask a couple people. I'll ask like 3 people on each side. What do you like to do? Gymnastics, that's pretty cool. How about you in the yellow shirt? Basketball, how about someone else? What do you like to do? Gymnastics, well, 2 people do gymnastics. How about this guy? Hey, what do you like to do? Yeah. Yeah, cool. Everybody has something that they enjoy. How about you? Another gymnastics person. Is this like the gymnastics capital of the world? How about you? What do you like to do? Play football. Cool. So a lot of people like to do sports. How many people here like to do things with music? How many of you like to, does anybody play a musical instrument? How many of you guys like to do artistic things like painting and drawing and making things? Anybody like to build stuff or do like Lego things or robotics? There's so many cool things, okay? How many of you guys like to do technical drawing where you draw like things that you might want to build later on? Right? There's a lot of fun things in life. Find something. Find something that you like. Because if you find something that you love, your life's going to feel so much better. Okay? I like to ride a bike. It's what I've always wanted to do. And it is what I do. This is my job. I did it professionally competing. I've been in 413 competitions. I won the world championships, national championships, a lot of other stuff, and it's been great. Now I don't compete anymore. I visit places like this and talk to people like you about leading a good life, and I love it, okay? But here's the thing. Riding a bike as a job is not normal. It is a very unusual career. Not many people will be able to do it. So, I made sure that I went to school, and I did a good job in school. I practiced everything, learned everything, okay, did my homework. I went to college, okay? So I did well in elementary school and middle school and high school, and I went to college. And I have a degree in physical education. I could be a phys ed teacher, okay? I did that because I want to make sure that I can get a job, all right? If I didn't work doing this as a job, I could still work and do this for fun, okay? Always follow your dreams. Always do the things you dream about. But also, be a little bit stable and do well in school. Have a good backup plan, I say. Because if something doesn't work out, you don't want to be stuck with nothing, in no way to survive without money and stuff. So you gotta have jobs in this world, right? Now, every day, when I wake up, one of the things that I do, I make sure I do this every single day of my life. I think, as I'm getting ready to go out about my day, I think about this. I say to myself, what am I going to do today to make today better, okay? Something that I wouldn't normally, just do on my own. Something I'm thinking about. I'm like, what can I do today to make my day better? And I, will try and do that throughout the day. Just one thing. That's all I worry about. Number 2, I say to myself, what can I do today to work towards, making the next year better, okay? Maybe, like this weekend, I, have a house, so I fixed something, okay, that will make the house, good for the next year, because you're always fixing things, okay? Number 3, I say to myself, what can I do today to make one step forward towards my goals in life, whatever that may be, okay? And I do those simple things, because if you do simple things like that, before you know it, you're like, wow, I've gotten really far. If you do one thing every day to make your goals better, and one thing every day to make the year better, and one thing every day to make the day better, one day you look back and say, wow, I've done so much, and you feel good about it. And I'll add this too. Make sure that you think to yourself every day, wow, I'm very grateful for, my life, what I have, the people in my life, okay? Because I know we always think about what we want, but we don't always think about what we have and what we've already done, okay? Be proud of yourself, be happy with what you've done, and be happy with what's around you, okay? Because it'll make you feel good. Now, back to stunts, because I love stunts, and I like to relate everything to stunts. Now, I spent a lot of time doing that, what I just said, and I've had ultimate goal stunts. I've had stunts I wanted to learn within the year. I never say I'm going to learn this stunt today. It doesn't work like that. Okay? It's like saying I'm going to become an expert at math in one day. There's always little steps. So let me show you 7 things that I practice every day. Okay? These 7 things help me with all of my stunts. And every day when I start riding, I do one stunt I start with every day, and I'll show you that stunt in a little while. It's kind of hard. And then I do my basics. Okay? So my first basic stunt is something everybody has to be able to do if you're a stunt rider, and that's ride a bike. If I couldn't ride a bike, I would not be a very good stunt rider. Okay? Imagine if I was a race car driver who couldn't drive. I wouldn't be very good at my sport. Okay? So I practice just riding a bike, warming up. I mean, I don't just ride it normally. I mean, I might just ride it around and do different things. You know what I mean? To get warmed up and things like that. I like to ride around and just feel how the bike moves. Because if you do that, it makes it easier. But I don't just ride my bike also forwards. I also will ride it backwards too. Okay? So I get used to the feeling of just being on the bike in different ways. Alright? So those things help me every day. Now, the other thing, number 2, I practice riding my bike without my hands. Okay? Just getting the balance of the bike, feeling how it is that day. I also practice, taking feet off and things like that. Alright? That's number 2. Number 3, I practice balancing. When I say balancing, I mean on one wheel. Okay? And I always practice my balance on my front wheel. And I do things like this. Okay, so I just practice getting the balance, like warming up. Okay, and I do things like this. And all this stuff just helps me with my stunt. Now the next thing I do is practice hopping. When I say hopping, I mean like a pogo stick kind of thing. Alright, and that helps me get the feel. All this stuff helps me get warmed up and get the feel for my bike and see how it's running that day. And sometimes it doesn't feel right, and I have to make adjustments to the bike. Like, I got tools and extra parts just in case something doesn't feel right. Okay, the next thing I do is I practice spinning. And that is, I practice doing a couple boomerangs that you just saw. Okay? And the last thing I do, I'm going to show you one of the other ones later because I don't want to spoil it. But one of the last things I do is I practice my bunny hops. A bunny hop is not hopping on the bike, it's jumping with both wheels off the ground. So I might practice, just little bunny hops just to get the feel for the bike. So those are the basic skills. Every stunt that I do has some of those stunts in it. Okay, so you'll always see combinations of things. Now, does anybody have any questions about anything? I know I've talked a lot. Any questions right now? Yes. No, this is not the bike I had when I was 6. I wish I had the bike that I had when I was 6. I think back then it cost like $50 in the store, and now I see them on eBay for like $1,000. I wish I had like 100 of them. But this is not my first bike. I've had maybe over 100 bikes since I was 6 years old. But I've had this bike for about 8 years, and I love this bike. I have a brand new one at home that I haven't ridden yet, and I've had it for like a year because I love this one so much. It feels so good to me. Yes. Yes, I have been to one world championship and I fortunately won it, so that was very good for me. But, I worked hard. It didn't just happen overnight. Yes. If you win competitions, yes, you get money. Yes. I do not go on ramps anymore. I used to ride ramps, but I got hurt really, really badly, and I am not going to go through that again. Yes. I ride every day. Yes, I do. Yep, every day. Not always for several hours, but I'm on my bike every day. Yes. Did I learn how to do a wheelie? Yes, I will show you that. Okay, another quick one. Okay, we'll go on to the show. If you have more, I'll get more later. All right. So, like I said, I do those basics every day. Now, someone mentioned a stunt, and I will show you this. All right. When I practice, I like to do wheelies. most stunts are based on either hopping, balancing, wheelies, spinning, or jumping. Okay? Those are how every stunt is based. Wheelies is basically riding the bike on one tire. So for example, if I was doing a regular old pedaling down the street wheelie, that's a regular wheelie. But you can also do wheelies in both directions. So you can do wheelies backwards too. Okay? The wheelies go both directions. Now, let me tell you this. When I was about 10, a man moved into our neighborhood who was, he moved to the United States from Russia. Back then, it was called the Soviet Union, and he moved here, and come to find out, he was an acrobat in a circus, which was really cool for me and my friends. We saw him in his backyard one day on like a fence, not even as high as that, maybe it was like this high. And he was balancing himself like, you know, on one hand, he would do like things where he balance and do a flip, and he did all kinds of cool stuff. My friends and I were watching him from the street, and I had the idea. I said, I wonder if he could help us learn some stunts, because he could do so many cool things. I said, let's go ask him. So we did. I said to him, I said, you know, he had seen us riding our bikes before, and I asked him, I said, do you think you could help us learn some stunts? And he didn't really speak much English, so it was hard to communicate with him, but he said, yes, you know, I'll help you. So I was like, oh, this is going to be cool. And he's asked me, you know, is there something that I want to do? I said, yes. I said, I've always thought it would be really cool if I could take my bike and be on it, like, you know, with both feet on the pegs, and just like I was doing on the back. But this is before I could do that. I said, I always thought it would be cool if I could hop up and down, and as I'm hopping up and down, have the back end of the bike go around me and around me and around me while I was hopping. And he said to me, he goes, okay. He goes, bike backwards. Remember, he didn't speak much English. Has anybody ever seen, I know I'm probably dating myself, but anybody ever seen the Karate Kid? If you remember Mr. Miyagi, he was the teacher, and he had all these weird ways of helping, you know, wax the floor and all this other stuff. But he was very direct with the way he spoke. This man was like that. So he'd say to me, bike backwards. So I turned the bike backwards. He goes, feet on bike. So I tried to put my feet in balance. So I tried standing on the bike, I get on it, and the bike falls to the side. Couldn't balance. I said, let me try this side. So I tried this side, and the bike fell this way. I could not balance. I said, I don't know how to keep my balance. He says to me, he says, you need to hop. So you hop. I said, okay, so I tried to hop. So I get on the bike, and I'm trying to hop. I'm trying to, you know, do this. I get on the bike, and I'm like, you could do it. Like, let me try the other way. So I tried this side, and I'm like, nothing. I said, I don't understand. Then he goes, you must explode. I'm like, what? And he explained it, and he showed me though. He's like, you need to explode up and bring the bike with you. So I practiced, and I learned how to hop a little bit, but I was still falling to the side. He told me the trick. He said, fall this way, hop this way. Fall this way, hop this way. So I did. Okay, so whichever way I fall, I hop in that direction, it straightens me out. Then I had to learn how to hop with the tire off the ground. That was even harder. So what I had to do is I had to learn, if I'm hopping and the bike lifts, I have to hop away from it to bring it down. If the tire starts going down, I need to hop towards it to bring it back up. So now I'm hopping in all directions to keep my balance. Watch this. So whichever way the bike goes, I hop in that direction, okay? Now, the hard part, I have to learn how to make the bike go around and around and around. We call this stunt a tail whip. So I had to learn how to kick the bike around and catch it on the other side. You guys want to see that? This is really, really hard. Let me see if I can do it. So this is called a tail whip. Okay, this is a one basic tail whip. Let's see, right here we go. Hold on, let me try it again. Get me psyched up for this, guys. Alright, here we go. Tail whip, ready? How's that? So I had to learn how to do that, and then I had to learn how to put it all together. Now here is the final stunt. By the way, like I said, he didn't speak very good English. I used to let him name my stunts. The reason I let him name my stunts was because he came up with some really funny names. When you compete, you have a list of stunts in your head that you want to do. It's not always easy to remember them if you get nervous. So I used to name my stunts weird names. And I would just make a list in my head of the weird names. And I liked short names because it was easy to remember the list. So what I used to do, like I said, let him name my stunts. I asked him, I said, what should we call this one? And he thought about it. And he looks at me and he goes, we call it peanut butter jelly sandwich. Okay. So I shortened it to PB&J because it's easy to remember when I compete. So here's my peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This is what I get for being polite, nice, and letting this man help me. Ready? Oh, let me try it again. That wasn't good enough for me. I want to get better than that. All right, here we go. PB&J. Let me tell you this story. When I think I was about 17 years old. I was at a bike competition in Australia. Now I've competed again in 413 competitions. I've competed in 40 different countries. So I've met a lot of people and had a lot of fun. Most of the time, I had good experiences. I was in Australia for a competition, and they had a little demonstration between the competition groups. There was two men. One man had hula hoops. The other man had boomerangs. Is there anybody here that does not know what a boomerang is? You might think you don't know, but you might know. Boomerang, if you don't know, is that piece of wood shaped like a V. It's flat. If you throw it correctly, it goes like this and it goes in a circle and it will come back if you do it correctly. Right? Now, the man with the boomerang, he was the person that would throw the boomerangs through the hula hoops. The man with the hula hoops would give targets for him. He would throw them in the air, he would spin them on the ground, he'd hold them against his face. Whatever he did, that man would throw the boomerangs through the hula hoops. It was really cool. He would throw them, right-handed, left-handed, around his back, under his leg. Everything he did was perfect. I thought it was really cool. I went up to them after the show, told them how much I enjoyed it, and I asked them if I could try to throw the boomerang. And they said yes. So he handed me a boomerang, and his friend went out there with the hula hoop. I said, oh, I don't need that, I just want to try it and throw it. He said to me, if you want to learn something that, like whatever, playing darts or, boomerangs or whatever, you have to have something to aim at because it makes it easier to learn. It would be like, I want to learn how to bowl and you just throw the ball around, okay? You want to have something to aim at and focus at. So, he held the the hula hoop. I said, all right. So he explained to me what to do. I said, oh, this is going to be easy. I threw the boomerang, just like he told me, thinking it was going to go through the hula hoop and come back to me. So I threw it and I was like ready. And I watched the boomerang just go that way and hit somebody. I apologize, okay? I tried it again. It did not go anywhere near that hula hoop, okay? I couldn't do it. And remember I asked earlier, how many of you tried to do something and couldn't do it? That was me. And people started laughing at me. They started making fun of me. It really hurt my feelings, okay? It's one of the reasons why I tell you guys not to do it, because it hurts. I don't want anyone to feel that way. Now, after the competition, and by the way, I never really tried it again, so I never learned how to do it. But after the competition, I came home, and I was thinking of, ways to make up new stunts. And I thought to myself, it would be really cool if I could do a boomerang with my bike, and you saw that, okay? But here's a stunt that I do. This is the first stunt that I do every day. I thought to myself, it would be really cool if I could take my bike and do a boomerang, but instead of jumping around it, if I could somehow stand it like this and jump over it. You guys want to see that? Yeah! Okay. Now again, I like to name my stunts. When I first learned this, I called it an around the world because I felt like I was jumping around the world. It was so hard. Plus, I thought of Australia. If you fly to Australia from here, you are going exactly halfway around the world. If you have a globe, a real spinning globe, and you put your finger on Connecticut and you put your other finger halfway around the world and look, it's Australia. So to go to Australia back is like around the world. So I thought about that. So I didn't want it to be around the world though. It's too long of a name. Remember, I need short names. I thought this is 10 times more difficult than a boomerang. I'm going to call it something that means 10. I looked in the thesaurus, which is now online, all right? And I put in the word 10, or I looked up the word 10, and I found a great word. That word was decade. The word decade means 10. This is 10 times harder than boomerang. Perfect. So this is my decade. You guys want to see it? You think the boomerang's fast? This is a lot faster, but it's also a lot more difficult. Okay? Let me know if you guys like this. This is my boomerang. Watch this, ready? How's that? Thank you. Not a stunt you want to mess up. Not a good place to mess up. Alright? So, like I said, I'm all about trying really hard, practicing at the things I do, trying to come up with new ideas. Here's a question for you. If you make a mistake at something, whatever it may be, right? Or let's say whatever you want. I made a mistake, I messed up, I did it wrong, whatever. What is the first thing that you should do after that mistake? Anybody have an idea? Raise your hand. I'm not asking you. Let's see. I don't know. What would you do if you made a mistake? Try again. I hear that quite a bit, and that is part of the process. But that's not the first thing that you do. First thing you do, fix a mistake. That's in there too. That's before try again, but that's not the first thing. Say that one more time. I can't understand you, mask. Yell it. Perfect. That's it. Think about why. What was the mistake? How did you make the mistake? If you can figure out what the mistake is, then you can understand how to fix it. But you have no idea how to fix a problem if you don't know what the problem is. Okay? So if you make a mistake at something, you can say to yourself, okay, what happened? All right, what is the problem? Then you come up with a plan how to fix it. Maybe you need to learn something. Maybe you need to make just a little adjustment. Maybe it was something random, like if I was shooting baskets and a wind came by and it blew the ball. Okay, random wind. Okay, well, I gotta wait for the wind to stop. Whatever it is, figure it out. Practice. Once you have, practice and you think you're ready, then you try again. Okay, and if it works, great. Okay, if it doesn't work, you reprocess. But here's the thing. This is what most people don't understand about this whole process. I always say, think like a scientist in everything you do. Now, here's my follow-up question. If you make a mistake at something, okay, and you figure it out, you do it again, and you do it right, what is the next step? Practice more, that's good, that's part of it. Do you know what the first step is from when you do something right? I know what you mean, try and change it a little bit. Something before that, though. Try something new. That's a good part of it. Let me ask one more person so you think they know. How about you? Keep doing it. Those are good. Those are good. This is why I mention this, because a lot of people don't think this way. If you do something well, okay, find out why you did it so well. What did you do that worked so well? Because you want to do that again, okay? If you ever see someone that, let's say they play golf. Golf's a good example of this. Every time someone swings a golf club at the ball, they try and do the exact same thing every time. They don't. That's why people the ball doesn't always go where they want it. But they try and do the same thing that they know how to do every time. Because if you can do that better than someone else, you will become better than someone else, okay? People that do the things in life that work, those are the people that are very successful, okay? You don't always have to, keep trying to make things that work different, Okay, if it works, do that. Okay, you can make little adjustments here and there, but don't always dramatically change something. Okay, unless you are, if you're an inventor, then you're gonna be doing that all the time. But it's like math. Okay, 1 plus 1, what does it equal? 2. It's going to equal 2 forever, okay? So know that, okay? Don't ever say, well, maybe it doesn't equal 2. Maybe it equals something else. No, it's 1 plus 1 equals 2. Okay, there's basic things in life you want to keep the same. And then, you get creative with other things, all right? Now, with stunts, I am always trying to do the stunts that I know the exact same way. And if you watch me, like when I was trying that funky chicken, I would try to do it exactly the same way. But what I would do is I would try it in different parts of the ground, because see if I would get a better chance on a more level surface or whatever. Right? But I'm trying to do the same thing over and over. That's how all stunts are. The next stunt that I want to show you is one of those stunts. And I had a lot of trouble doing this stunt, and I decided to change it. And it didn't go too well. The consistency that I had when I changed it dropped way down. And it looked cool when I did it a different way. But I decided, you know what, I'm going to go back to the way that it works. And I've had a lot more success that way. Let me show you this stunt. This stunt was a stunt that my coach helped me learn, the one from Russia. He called it a backyard. Guess where I learned it? Where? No, in the basketball court near my house. But he called it a backyard. Like I said, he came up with some interesting names. All right, so here's my backyard. Watch this. I do it on the back of the bike too. Hold on, I'm trying to go uphill. It's not working. Ready? I'm laughing. Oh my goodness, don't make me laugh. Let me just get the dust off my tires too. Trying to push the tires under the dust. Give me 1 second, please. All right, get me psyched up. Here's my backyard. You guys ready? Let's see if you can get this. I had some wires holding me up. That would be really, really great. Really awesome. Sounds good. Okay. Here's what we're going to do now. Who would like to see one of my most difficult stunts? Not that the ones I didn't do weren't hard, but I'd like to show you one of my most difficult ones. Okay. Put your hands up. This stunt right here, I would say, if I had to think about how long it took me to learn it, I would say, I learned this stunt the first time I tried it, because I had to. Can I have a volunteer teacher? One teacher would like to help me out. Someone not wearing a dress. I know someone's a dress. Yeah, always wear a dress to an assembly, teachers, always. Is there one not wearing a dress that will help me? Don't worry, you're not going to ride the bike or anything like that.
Alright, I'll go.
I got one
Yes,
right here.
Mrs. Fusco.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Chris. Come on over. What, is that your class? You guys like the teacher, right? You guys love her, because we are going to have some fun with her. You have someone to cover for her, right? In case it doesn't work out. Good.
We're good.
No, I'm just joking. Okay, just please sit down on the ground. Face your class. Leg up straight and just lay that down. You just figured this out, didn't you? Okay, guys, you guys want to see me jump over her? Okay. Like I said, this is why I had to be able to do it the first time. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I will come in this direction, and I will leave the ground somewhere over here. Hopefully land up there. Okay, and be on your merry way. All right. Hopefully. You know what, guys? Only one of three things can happen. Number one, I make it. Number two, I don't get up off the ground. Or number three, I just kind of come up a little short. Either way, I'm on the bike. And you're in the audience. Okay, don't move. Ready? You guys want to see this? You're going to get me really psyched up. You ready? Here we go. Do not move. Here we go. Arms down, legs down, head down. Go. Here we go. Let me have a big, huge hand for your teacher. Give it up for her. Thank you very much. I hope you all
Let's go.
That's okay. We got it on video, I bet, so you can review the film.
Yes, we
See,
did.
that could go viral if I didn't make it.
That's right.
Put it on YouTube and the school get all the royalties from it. All right. Now, guys, again, please don't go home and try that. Or any of my stunts. I don't want you to get hurt.
Good job, Miss
Unless you
Fosco.
can convince your teacher to lay down on the ground after school, go and do it. Okay? Anyway, so yeah, I actually didn't learn that from jumping over purses. I learned how to do that stunt by, I started with like a stick when I was a little kid. And my friends and I would like try and jump over like sticks in the road. And then we're like, hey, let's, we put like things out and we would practice jumping over. And one day, one of my friends said to me, he's like, wow, he's like, you can jump really high, because my record was like 30 inches. And we set up like a bar. We actually made like a bar with sticks, so if you jumped over and didn't make it, the bar would fall off. And I was doing pretty good. And he's like, I bet you can jump over a person. So we started doing that, like laying down on the ground for each other and jumping over each other. And my mother was not happy, by the way, about that. She was not happy. All right? Now, people ask me this question. Hear this all the time after I do that. I'll answer the question now, so no one asks it. Have I ever hit anybody doing that? Yes, absolutely. But it wasn't a teacher, and it wasn't an audience member. I broke my leg several years ago, and I was out for, I don't know, like 3-4 months. And when I came back, I needed to experiment to make sure that I could do my stunts. I needed to try that one. I'm not going to try it for the first time at a show. So I thought, how am I going to do this for real? I mean, I was jumping over things, which was fine, but you gotta get the realism to it. So I said to my daughter, come on outside. And I had her lay on the ground. And my daughter's 23 years old now, so she wasn't like a child, but she was a little younger. And I said, all right, I got this. I tried to jump her, and I got up a little off the ground, I landed right on it. Boom, didn't make it. It hit her in the leg, so it hurt, but it didn't injure her. But she's like, of all the people that you are gonna run over, it's gotta be me. I'm like, well, imagine if I ran over a teacher. That wouldn't be good. So that's the one person that I ran over doing that. So my daughter. Oh well, what are you gonna do? She loves me. All right, any quick questions before we finish up? Any teachers, questions, adults or students or anybody? Yes. I have jumped over trash cans, yeah. Not standing though, but we used to lie down. Because remember, my record is like 30 inches, and trash cans are usually a little bit taller than that. Well, maybe they're 30 inches, but you got the width along with it, so I wouldn't make it. But I could jump a trash can like lying on its side. Yeah, I've gotten a lot of scratches. If you look at my Shin Guard, you see that? How it's all ripped? My Shin Guard, by the way, people are like, do you have boots on? It's like, no, I just have black sneakers and Shin Guard. But these things protect my shins. You can see, like I forgot to wear them the other day, and I get caught. We call those pedal bites, because the pedals swing around and nip your legs, and it feels like you're getting bit by something. But anyway, I like my Shin Guards. Shin Guards have a hard plate inside. It's like soccer or field hockey or whatever. So I got a hard plate and a little soft pad that goes on the back of it, so it feels more comfortable. And it goes inside a sleeve in this thing, and it slips in the back, and that's it. And then I wear it on my leg, and the belt goes around, and that way, when I do a stunt, if I hit my shins, those pedal bites don't hurt. But I look at the front of these, and they are all ripped up with holes in it. Every one of those would have been a bite to my shins, and that would really hurt. So I don't like when I forget my Shin Guards. I always keep them in my gear bag if I can, unless I wash them. I usually forget it. Yes. Have I taught someone how to ride a bike? Yeah, let me tell you that quick story. 2 kids. I have a daughter who's 23 and a son who's 21. I taught my daughter how to ride a bike first, and it was not easy for her. I guess to put it kindly, she's not that athletic. So I had to do like the, hold the seat thing while she was learning. And took her a while, but she got it. She rides the bike very well now. And that's another point. Doesn't matter where you start. Some people learn things faster than others. But eventually in life, you'll notice that everything kind of evens out later on, okay? I didn't learn how to ride a bike till I was 6 years old. And I couldn't really ride a bike that well before that. There were some kids in the neighborhood that were 3, 4 riding bikes. And I thought, I'll never be able to ride a bike. Now look what I do for a job. So that was my daughter. My son, I thought he would be just like her. So I took him, same place. It was like a school parking lot near our house. And I had my son. I'm like explaining to him, okay, I'm going to hold the seat, blah, blah, blah. I went to grab the seat. He just rode off. Didn't even touch me. So I'm like, okay, well, I guess that was different. So that was my experience with my 2 kids who learned how to ride a bike. You got something? What's your question?
Do you sit on the handlebars?
I sit on the handlebars, yeah, when I ride backwards. I'll show you another one with that too. I got a couple more stunts I'll do. Yes. I did have training wheels for about a month when I first started learning how to ride a bike. What I did too, though, we took the training wheels off, me and my brother, so my parents had no idea that I even had them off. We went in the backyard and we had an old tree stump where my dad cut a tree down, and I would like lean on it, stand on it, like, and I'd get my pedals ready, and I would just like start pedaling across the yard. And it was funny thinking about it now. I wish I had video of it because I couldn't stop and I couldn't turn. So I just kept going, like, through the yard until I hit a bush. I was like, that's how I stopped, running into the bushes. Yes. Wow, 2 years old. You know what? They have those cool bikes now without pedals. They didn't have those when my kids were little. Those are awesome. Those really help people learn how to ride fast. Yeah, that's all right. Everybody learns at a different pace. Yes. Yep. Oh no. Oh man, those are the worst when you don't know how to stop. All right, let me get one more question. Let's see, one more. Where's the next question? Let me go with the girl near the teacher. Last one. Did I ever fall off my bike and what? Oh my goodness, I fall all the time in front of audiences. I have no shame. Is that a good word for it? Like, it's very, very difficult to embarrass me. I don't know, I fall all the time. This is part of life. How many of you guys have ever, even slipped on the ice and fell, or tripped over your own feet, or just dropped something? And, we're human. We make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. And believe me, the faster you can realize that, the better you're going to feel about yourself. Okay, knowing that you're not perfect. We all make mistakes. Okay, that's it for the questions, guys. Let me finish up my show with a couple stunts. Let me see if I can do. All right, a couple more stunts. Somebody asked me over here about sitting on my bars, and I do when I ride backwards. Let me show you a couple more stunts that I like. Okay, this first one is a stunt that I learned. I don't know how old I was, probably like 15. And I used to find a hill near my house. It was a hill, like a grass hill, with a nice path on it, so there was no cars. But I used to ride my bike down the hill, and it would go like this. All the way down the hill. Like that. Okay. Now, let me show you the last ones I'm going to try. One I'm working on. Now, working on a stunt means that I am very unlikely to be able to do it, but if I do, it'll be really cool. Okay? I practice stunts that I want to learn all the time. There's little steps that I practice along the way. Where I'm at with this stunt is this. Okay? This is my newest stunt. I ride the bike, I turn my handlebars backwards, I get myself all set up. Now, what I do is I kick the bike around, all right? Just like I was doing that funky chicken setup. But as I'm rolling forward, I kick the bike around, I catch it on my elbow, and I try and roll a little bit and get myself set up. And if it goes well, and this is where I'm at right now, I'm trying to roll the bike out of my hands and catch the tire and roll like this. Okay, you guys want to see that? Yeah. Right. This is my newest stunt. Doesn't really have a name yet, but once it's perfected, I'll think of something. Let me know if you guys like it. Here is my new stunt. Here we go. that one more time. Maybe if I go in the other direction. Believe it or not, just a little bit of bumps and slope make a difference in which way you go. Ready? I'm working on it. That's what it's all about. You never know what's going to happen. You know, whether you're going to hit something right away, or if it's going to take many, many, many years. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed my show. Please remember the things I talked about. I do want to say one more last thing before you go. It is very, very important to, as I said, earlier, every day I think about what I'm thankful for, and happy about that. One other thing I always do, and this isn't really, that list is for me personally, but I always think of something I can do every day to make someone feel good, all right? And like today, I was thinking, what am I gonna do? I haven't talked to my sister in, I don't know, a couple months, so I'll call her up today just to say hi. Tell her I love her. Put a smile on her face, okay? Think of ways that you can make people feel good every day. One of those things is when you leave school every day, say thank you to your teachers, okay? Work hard for you guys, especially now. You guys have distance learners and people here.
We have both.
But we've been that's like twice as much work.
We've been
My wife
fortunate.
teaches first grade.
Yeah.
And she's got like 3 kids that are not in school. It's hard. Okay? Say thank you every day. Make them feel good. Okay. Also, your teachers, try and help you guys have a better life. They want you to get somewhere in life. They want you to go really far in life and become something great. Okay. If you do become that great and you become like a billionaire, bring your teachers some money. Okay? They're going to retire someday. Thank you. I hope you guys enjoyed my show. Okay? Thank you, teachers. Thank you, students. And thank you for having me back in school. Right, stay where you are, because I have no idea what you're doing tonight.
Hey, how about one more round of applause for the This time we are going to dismiss my class, so just wait for your class to be called into the building. We'll start Ms. Fusco.
What did you say?
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
And thank you for not running me over.
I wouldn't hate you. Thanks for letting me jump over you.